Hello, Quesnel, and welcome to Q Today. I'm Allison Duddy.
Hi, Allison, and I'm Nate Bello, and this is our show for June the 11th.
Our top stories from The Observer: Arthur Topham applies for Rowbotham, and a local marijuana bust nets 700 plants.
And coming up later in the show, Doreen LaMarche of the Gold Pane City Derby Girls will be here for a little chat.
Look forward to that. Here at Q Today, we bring you the recent news from the Quesnel Caribou Observer, and we also bring you our own stories from the community. So let's get right on to the news now with Nate.
Okay, thank you very much, Allison. After the death of lawyer Doug Christie, Arthur Topham, charged with hate crimes, has applied, as you said, for a Rowbotham. Now, what's a Rowbotham? The term is used in the judicial process when one cannot afford a lawyer. Yet their case is serious enough that, if convicted, the accused could serve jail time. Topham said he was initially denied legal aid as it was determined that he made too much money. But what he said, it appears that a person that has to be living in the street without a penny before their name, without a penny to their name, before they can qualify for legal aid these days. Topham also said the Rowbotham application was stalled out earlier in May. He now awaits his next court appearance on July the 9th. You may remember Topham's property was searched and some property was seized in May of last year, after it was determined that there was reasonable grounds the offense of the promotion of hatred was committed. Crown officially moved on the charge about 5 months after the search and seizure of the property. Topham, who adamantly denies the charge, said back in November of 2012 he's hopeful that he has his day in court because it will raise awareness surrounding free speech and the definition of hate crimes.
All right, thank you for that, Nate. Well, RCMP busted a substantial weed grow-up along the Barkerville Highway recently. On May 31st, the Quesnel RCMP Drug Section executed a search warrant at a residence in the 2000 block of the Barkerville Highway. A 700-plant grow operation was located inside the house and shop. 2 males, 49 and 56 years old respectively, both residents of the Lower Mainland, were arrested. Now, one of the males has been released on a promise to appear, and the other male was held on an outstanding warrant from the Lower Mainland. Charges will be recommended against both men for production of a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance for the purpose of trafficking, and theft of electricity. Now, if you have any information related to this or any other crime, call the Quesnel RCMP at 250-992-9211 or call Crime Stoppers.
You know, it's amazing that, especially now with what has happened in Washington State, you get arrested on one side and you're able to do it on the other. For, you know, that it's not wrong, but it's wrong here. I mean, there's all kinds of different circumstances, you know, and if it's wrong in a jurisdiction, then, you know, you have to pay the consequences.
Of course.
But eventually, you think it'll all get sorted out a little bit.
We hope so.
Right. Okay, the first draft of the City of Quesnel's 2012 annual report is now available for public inspection and comment. The report may be viewed online at qcatv.ca. Just click on the annual report link in the shaded area on the right-hand side of the page. A copy of the audited consolidated financial statements is also available separate from the annual report. These statements can be found at qcatv.ca/finance.html /annual reports. You have that down?
Hopefully we'll get
that down there. But anyway, you could just go into City Hall and pick up a hard copy. That's at 410 Kitchen Street. The annual report is required under the Community Charter and includes the 2012 financial statements, a report on the city's activities in 2012, and a series of strategic objectives for 2013. Now that's pretty important because you want to see what direction the council wants to take the city.
Right.
It must be presented to the public 2 weeks prior to being formally adopted by City Council. Comments may be directed to Carol Anderson, Communications Supervisor. She took over from Matt Wood, and she can be reached at Canderson, C. Anderson, at quesnel.ca. The 2012 annual report will be formally presented to the Council for final approval on June 24th at 7 p.m. in Council chambers if you're not doing anything more important. If you are doing something more important, I encourage you to do more important things.
There we go.
No, it's important. It's important, but it is summer too.
That's true. All right, well, as we've mentioned on previous shows, this year's Skyfest is shaping up to be the best yet. Turns out some unusual guests will be visiting our city during Skyfest. The Discovery Channel is filming a number of airshow pilots for a new series expected to air in March of next year, 2014, and they've contracted Great Pacific Television Production Company to film the airshow at our local airport. Now, director Rob Mitchell came up with the idea for the series. He pitched it to the Discovery Channel, and it turns out that they liked his idea and they bought the show. Mitchell said the show will follow characters around the airshow industry, including Donna Flynn, the airshow boss, the pyro special effects team led by April Zielinski, and the rest are flying performers. Now, in Quesnel, Great Pacific Television will have 2 camera crews, production staff, and 1 principal director. Now, he described the series as an observational documentary where everything is filmed as it naturally unfolds, no scripts. When asked if Quesnel would feature in the series, Mitchell said, if there's something that relates to the characters regionally, it will be highlighted when focusing on the characters involved. He went on to say the crews will arrive on July 31st and remain in town until August the 5th. And as for the success of the series, Mitchell said the subject matter has a built-in audience, given that 10 million people attend air shows each year. Tickets for Skyfest, as we've said before, are available at Circle S Westernwear and the Tourist Information Center for day passes, weekend passes, and weekend camping packages. And if you would like more information, you can visit www.quesnelskyfest.ca.
I just had a brainwave.
Oh, let's
I
hear.
think John McKenzie of Shaw could go out there and film the crew doing the people to see what their life is like, and then we could get somebody else filming John and see how he does it. And before long, everybody would be filming each other.
Everybody.
Yeah,
That's right.
Okay, let's do it. No, Skyfest is going to be great this year.
I can't wait to check it out. I haven't been to one before, but I'm
going
after
this year.
doing all these reports and hearing about all the great things that are happening
and we'll see
there.
you there.
Should be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look forward to it.
Well, at last week's delegation meeting, Council heard from both sides of the Northern Gateway debate, hosting presentations by Kara McLean, spokesperson for the opposition of the pipeline, as well as Colin Kinsley and Shane Kelly from Enbridge. McLean presented a report highlighting the risks involved if the Northern Gateway project moves forward, specifically how the pipeline will affect Quesnel. She said, a minimum of 164 geological hazards known as geohazards were identified, with 117 occurring in British Columbia. She went on to say that 36 of these geohazards have been identified in the interior plateau. That's where we live. She went on further, and she said all species of Pacific salmon, rainbow trout, and other sport fish will be affected on the pipeline route. For their part, Enbridge presented to Council an overview of what the proposed pipeline could do for the caribou. Their report explained which safety measures will be put into place. It went further. Route and watercourse crossing selection is based on engineering and environmental studies and input from Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal communities. No other Aboriginal benefits listed: equity ownership of 10%, tax on reserve land, and employment and training. Now, for their part, the Observer has pledged to continue updates on a very important project. And as I said last time, you know, the province has said they're against it now, and I just think that's just a prelude, because the city was against it. Now they're listening to both sides, which is good. But
right, you want to be able to make an educated decision.
Yes, but they were against it. Now they're. Oh, anyway.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Time will tell.
Yes.
I think we said
That's
that
what you
on
said
last show
last
too. Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Moving on into sports now, riders took on ornery cattle and bucking horses at the 66th annual Kispiox Valley Rodeo a couple of weekends ago. Quesnel riders fared pretty well overall. In bareback, local Steve Homan took third, and Homan was also the only rider to keep in the saddle bronc, earning him the top spot there. Now in breakaway roping, Jody Cole of Quesnel took second. Mackenzie Wills had a good weekend. He took first in junior breakaway roping and second in junior barrel racing, followed by Mariah Mannering in third. Now junior steer riding, Isaiah Elkins took third, and in team roping, Ryan McNaughton of Quesnel and Rod Spears of Fort St. John teamed up to take first place. Charlie Soffel of Vanderhoof and John Hancock of Quesnel tied with Nick Texiera and Rod Spears, both of Fort St. John, for second and third. And Quesnel's Lane Cork managed to keep his seat on Paleface to take first in bull riding.
Right.
And those were just the Quesnel riders. There were lots of other results, but I figure we just want to know about the local people. I also did hear, Nate, I was talking with my stepmom this morning, and she said that just this past weekend, apparently Steve Homan got injured. We're not sure if it was the bull riding or bareback or saddle bronc. He's kind of in on all of that stuff that's a little on the more dangerous side of rodeo.
He's a big star.
But I guess he had some injuries and might be out for a little bit by the sounds of it. So
good luck to Steve.
Yeah, we hope
I'm
he
sure
gets
the way he
back
is,
soon.
He'll be back. Yeah.
Oh, those Cowboys are
Tough.
They're tough folks, definitely. Yeah. So hopefully we wish him a speedy recovery. And
right. And you know who else is tough?
Who's that?
The Gold Plain City Derby Girls.
Oh, yes.
They've certainly they've been a great addition to the sports scene here in Quesnel.
For sure.
As you know, you're a big fan.
Huge.
And every year they're getting more competitive and more entertaining. And here I am earlier today in conversation with Doreen LaMarche, also known as Reenie Rinkrash. Let's take a look. Okay, thanks a lot. I'm here with, it says Doreen LaMarche, but you're really Reenie Rinkrash, aren't you?
Yes, I am, Nate.
Yes, you have two names because you're involved in
Gold Plain City Derby Girls. I'm the coach and a skater, and we have some really fun names that we get to use along with our characters that we pull out of the bag when we strap on our skates and hit the track.
Right, your whole personality changes.
Yes, some of us do. Some of us have friends in our lives who are really shocked at what we do on the track because we're so sweet and nice off the track.
Well, the Gold Plain City Derby Girls is one of the big success stories in terms of new sports and in our community in the last 3-4 years, something like that.
Been it'll be 3 years in September since we had our very first meeting, and since then we have established a nonprofit association and have put together a team.
Okay, so we've had you on before, but I just to refresh our memories. One day it was Saturday afternoon, you were eating popcorn, watching roller derby on TV, and it came to you, or how did it start?
It actually started, it wasn't me that started, brought the inspiration, I guess, to Quesnel. It was Willow Aford and Amy Quick. They attended a bout between Prince George, the rated PG girls, and Williams Lake, the Lake City Derby girls. They had a bout 3 summers ago, and Amy and Willow attended, and there is a player from Prince George named Sista Vibrosis who comes out.
Who? Sorry?
Sista Vibrosis.
Okay.
And she comes out on the track at the beginning of the bout when they're being introduced with a running chainsaw. Sans there's no chain on it.
Okay, good. Oh yeah,
but it's very impressive and it's very intimidating and fantastic, and she comes out with that, and Willow and Amy were hooked right at that moment. And so they brought the idea back to town, and it blossomed from there.
You've had a couple of years now, and you're just completing this season, and it's gone pretty well, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've had a really great year. We started out this season with a bout against Prince George in January. They have the benefit, of course, of the roller dome, so they can play roller derby all year round. And so in the wintertime, they have teams come into them. So we were one of them, and we lost, but we only lost by 78 points.
Right. Wow.
Which sounds maybe like a lot in compared to other sports. If it was football or if it was hockey, you mean. But in roller derby, it's not. It's actually fairly close, and a huge improvement from the year before when they beat us by around 200 points.
Right. Wow.
So in January we played them, and then we had them here actually
Just
recently.
a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah, just a couple of weeks ago we had them here, and we lost again, but we won because we only lost by 27 points, which was a huge improvement.
Yeah.
And we also started in January. We still had to borrow a couple of players, and this spring we recruited enough players and passed them their minimum skills that we played with a full roster of Gold Paint City Derby girls.
Yeah, I think we want to talk about that a little bit. You just can't get on there and all of a sudden you're a roller derby girl. It takes a little bit of training. And tell me a little bit about the standards or what you have to attain before you allowed to be in a match.
Bout.
In a bout. Okay.
So we don't take offense. it's a hard term. So we follow the Women's Flat Track Roller Derby Association's minimum skill requirement for skating. And what it requires is that you are able to safely execute most skills required on the track. You are taught how to fall properly, you're taught how to stop, you're taught how to skate next to somebody in close proximity, you're taught how to do whips, arm whips and hip whips, you're taught how to work in a wall, how to block, how to jam if you happen to be somebody who is a good jammer and they're the point scorer that passes through the pack again and again. You're taught agility, and so you have to have a certain level of safety in executing all of those skills to be able to go and play in a bout, so that you're not a harm to yourself and you're not a harm to the other players. And so we run a fresh meat program.
A fresh meat. I love it. It's this great blend of theatrics and real skill. Yeah. It
really stepped into my life at a time when Kearsley Musical Theatre was closing down and roller derby was taking off, so it's filled a great theatrical void in my life.
So Janice Butler is joining?
Yeah. No, but she's an awesome supporter and she loves to be screaming from the crowd.
And we just had her on the show last week.
Yes, I heard that from her new book. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. Toast to the front. Okay.
Toast to the front,
everywhere. Okay. But one thing that is available for a couple more, you have a few more games, and then Billy Barker Day's coming up.
So we had a bout last weekend. That was our bout with Prince George. This weekend on the 15th, we travel to Fort St. John, and we play against the Energetic City Roller Derby Association's Killbillies. And then
you're gonna wreak havoc, aren't you?
We are certainly going to do our best. They're a good team. Some of their players are a little more experienced, some less, and so I think that we're a really good match.
It'll be competitive. Okay,
yeah,
great.
It should be a really good game. And they came to us last May, and we won that bout, so we're excited to see what we can do. And then they come to see us July 19th at the Twin Arenas for the third annual Gold Rush Rumble.
Right, okay. Now, the last few, you've had pretty good support, haven't you? At those Gold Rush Rumbles.
Yes, we have. Actually, that's our main event of the year, and I think
big fundraiser. You mean?
Yep. It's our main fundraiser. The first year that we had it, we had over 1,000 people in attendance, and last year we had over 700. So we're looking forward to people hopefully have caught on that it's an annual event and they can plan it into their Billy Barker Days events, and we do it on the Friday night so as not to interfere with some of the other big events that are happening. Sure, Thursday nights Crash to Pass, and Saturday nights usually the barn dance, and so we chose Friday night for our bout. And
right at the Twin Arenas at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, doors open at 6 o'clock, and the whistle is at 7. Tickets are going to be on sale probably within the next 3 or 4 weeks at Reason to Run and from any roller derby girl that you know, but they'll also be available at the door, and they're $10 a piece.
Very
and
inexpensive.
Children 10 years and under are free. We like to fill our seats. We like the fundraising aspect, but we just want that energy to catch in the room where everyone gets to feel a part of that. That's going on the track.
And that's when you run out. You don't have a chainsaw. What do you have?
No, I don't have a chainsaw. I have a big grin and a fist pumping.
Okay, good. You know, there's skaters, Okay, you still call them skaters. Okay.
Yeah, you bet.
All right. There's skaters, but there's also the volunteers.
Yes, we have a fantastic reffing crew this year. So we've had, we started out with Tim Flip the Bird, who started out as our first ref, and he is our head ref now, and he has put together a really fantastic reffing crew. Amy Quick, who was one of the founding members of the team, is committed ref now. She's found her niche there, and her derby name is Quick and Derby. And Patty Akes, who is a skater, is also a ref. She doubles as a ref. And one of our skaters' husbands, Sugar Ray's husband, Gary Perry, GP for now. We're not sure if that's going to be his derby name, but we're working on something more exciting. He joined, and we have another Ben Minette joined, double OD bag, and he's fantastic. So we actually have, and then we have Keith Boyshat, who comes in, and he's his schedule's a little bit tougher. So we actually have our own reffing crew, which we appreciate so much, and we're always looking for people who might not necessarily want to skate as a skater, and but they don't want to be an off-skate official. Then reffing is the thing to do, and it's such a fun sport. But our non-skating official team is starting to come together, and so that's scorekeeping and penalty tracking, timekeeping. Those people are super important to the game. They help us record all of our stats. They make sure that when you pull a major and you get sent to the box, that you're there for the right amount of time. We really appreciate our non-skating officials and all of our volunteers.
And you could use a few more of them.
We could use a few more. So a call out for anybody who would like to be involved and support roller derby. We would love to have you come and be a part of our non-skating official team.
Can they come to the parties afterwards?
Absolutely, as long as they're 19 years old.
Okay. Okay, good, because I'm sure they're, you know, like, it's such an infectious thing. It's so fantastic.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
People love it. So before I let you go, I'd like to know a little bit about next season. You know, you're getting the end of this one. You got the big thing in Billy Barker. What are the future plans for the Gold Pain City Derby girls?
Well done, Nate. The Gold Pain City Derby girls have big plans for the fall. We take a break after the Gold Rush Rumble, so the middle of July until the middle of September we take a break so the girls can go camping and spend time with their families.
Yeah,
and then we start up again mid-September. And this year will be the first time that we have a fresh meat program that runs for a specific period of time. Up till now, we've just pulled fresh meat in as we've gone trying to build our roster. And now that we have a full roster, we can actually run a program. So the middle of September until just before the Christmas break, we will be running a fresh meat program where we will train interested skaters everything that they need to know, and then we'll have a testing in December, and then all girls that pass will be able to join us in our regular season starting in January. And girls that don't pass, that are still really fired up and want to be a part of it, can come and skate with us. They just won't be able to bout with us.
That's right.
And then
they could be a
non-skating official. That's right. Absolutely.
Okay.
They can even ref if they choose to. The skills requirements aren't quite the same for our reffing crew.
Would you suggest that how old does it go? Like the people in their 60s?
You know that's commonly, absolutely, Nate. That's commonly the thing that I run into is I'm too old for derby. I do believe that our oldest participant is well into her mid-50s. And she plays very, very well. I don't believe that age should be a limitation. If you are excited to learn a new skill, we will teach you. If you've never skated before, we will teach you. If you just have some part of you that says, man, I wish that I could learn how to play roller derby, I think that would be so fun.
And
then
have an alter ego.
All you have to do is be 19 years old. That's the youngest. Oldest doesn't have a cap. If you can strap on a pair of skates and get out there, and you can add on extra pads or do whatever you need to do to feel safe, come.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to leave it, and we congratulate you on another great season and look forward to many more.
Thank you.
In the Gold Pain City.
You bet.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Nate.
Darren.
You know, that was great, Nate. I adore Doreen. She's such a sweetheart. And,
So
it's great to go out to the Derby bouts and see these people that you know in their real lives getting out there, and they just...
Well, they're different personalities.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's a cool,
And
cool sport.
we're trying to get Doreen to come back, too. Will help us with Qtoday, too.
All right, moving along in Sutton Shutters this week, Dave wants to send out a special thanks to the Lions Club for their support of high school students with special needs. Now, many students have been able to volunteer at their garage sale storefront over the past school year, gaining valuable social and work skills in the process. Others have had opportunities to have work experiences in their private businesses. So thanks to Dave for sending in those photos, and of course to the Lions Club for all the great work that they do here in Quesnel.
Well, and especially because they do sponsor us, and we have appreciated it this whole year.
For sure, you bet.
Thanks for sending the pictures, Dave. Now let's check out what's happening locally with our community calendar.
And as always, of course, talking about the Lions, we'd like to thank the Lions Club for helping to make our show possible. Their next garage sale is Saturday, June the 29th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Maple Park Mall. And remember, you can watch us anytime on the web at qcatv.ca, thanks to Eddie D'Souza, or check us out on Facebook.
Big Q, Big T, all one word. Well, that's it for this show. We want to hear from you with your story and your comments on our show, because whatever you think is important, we think is important. We've only got one show left for this season, but it's going to be a great show because we're going to talk a little bit with Susan McNeil, who's going to be doing our Qtoday summer replacement offering.
Great. Look forward to that.
Okay.
And remember,
Qtoday is about
Quesnel talking to Quesnel. Bye for now.